Okay, this is Lee County Board of Supervisors, regular meeting, October 20th, 2020. Meeting is now called to order. First on the agenda, we have a public hearing, and it's a comprehensive plan. Lee County Board of Supervisors will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, October 20th, 2020 at 4:30 p.m. in the General District Courtroom of the Lee County Courthouse in Jonesville, Virginia. The purpose of the public hearing is to receive public comment on the proposed Lee County Comprehensive Plan as updated. A copy of the draft comprehensive plan is available at the Lee County Administrator's Office or the Lee County Community Development Office located in the Lee County Courthouse, Jonesville, Virginia. We have anyone here on behalf of that?
Well, if any public comment or not, this has already been to public hearing before the Planning Commission several months ago. We sort of delayed moving it further till hopefully some of the COVID issues settle down, but I went ahead and included it for the agenda this month to take public comment on it.
Okay, hearing no public comment, we need to take any action on that?
They need a motion to approve the comp plan would be in order.
Let me make a suggestion on that. On page 9 and 10, it talks about population increase, but the math is population decrease. It goes from 25,000 and some down to 24,000 on page 10, but it says plus 812. And on page 9, fourth line up from the bottom, should be changed to reflect that the population is going down instead of up.
Run by that last one again.
Page 9, fourth line up from the bottom, no future population projections show an increase in the population estimates. There is no increase, and if you look at page 10, it shows that it's an increase. It says plus 812, but the number is from 25,587 down to 24,700.
Okay, yeah, I can make an adjustment on that.
Page 18, we don't have, is that right? Is that number right on the 18 community centers we closed? 3?
Yeah, some of those have been closed, and that, since they actually were working on the update, some of that's occurred within recent months, so I'll update that section too.
And the only other thing was page 41. We talked about St. Charles Fire Department. I guess it's Pennington number 3 now.
That's correct.
Top of the page 41. Other than that, I didn't see anything wrong with it.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve it subject to those changes.
Okay, got a motion on the floor to accept. I'll second. And a second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, next on the agenda, we have the proposed amendment to courthouse security fee ordinance enacted pursuant to Title 53.1, Chapter 756, 53.1-120 of the Code of Virginia as amended. The Lee County Board of Supervisors will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, October 20th, 2020 at 4:30 p.m. in the General District Courtroom of the Lee County Courthouse located in Jonesville, Virginia. The purpose of the public hearing is to take public comment on a proposed amendment to the courthouse security fee ordinance, which imposes a fee of $10 as part of the cost in each criminal or traffic case in the General District, Juvenile, or Domestic Relations or Circuit Courts in the County of Lee, Virginia. If adopted, the amendment will increase the courthouse security fee to $20 in each criminal or traffic case in each of the courts. A copy of the full ordinance is available in the Lee County Administration's Office, Room 111, Lee County Courthouse in Jonesville, Virginia. anybody here that's public expression on that behalf? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to take action on that.
Mr. Leonard, could you move a little closer to the mic, please? Some of us old folks don't hear well.
Some of us, these big bellies, and you can't get too much closer to the table. I have to bring the mic a little closer. Does that sound better?
Yes, thank you.
I could talk louder maybe, but
I think when we agreed, we voted to advertise this to be able to take it to the maximum, but I think at least there was some discussion about just because we advertised to take it to the max didn't mean we had to actually vote to take it as high as we could take it. And that would be my position. If you know what it already costs on a speeding ticket and we're imposing a tax on every rinky-dink offense that comes through here, an extra $10 on it, when the cost on most of these things now are $91 for cost plus your fine. I just don't like the idea of putting all courthouse security on the backs of somebody that gets a window tint ticket or a muffler ticket, or I could see a modest increase, but I don't see doubling it.
I thought this was your move, wasn't it? I don't know.
No.
Well, of mine, so I don't know whose it was. Maybe.
Is that the max?
$20 is the max.
Do we have any idea what we take in per year in courthouse security fees now?
How much we receive per year, I don't have the numbers with me, no.
Are we short on money for it?
We've had monies available in the past, but when this grant runs out that we're operating the front door security on, that'll have to be covered out of these fees.
Are we not getting a new grant?
We just got this one. It's only good for so many months. This was a special grant offering through DCJS. I'm not aware that it's renewable.
So
And that'll be up to the state to determine if they have funds from year to year to make that renewable.
We don't know that we're not already taking in enough to cover courthouse security as it is.
I'd have to look at the fund balance and see exactly what's in there.
A few years ago, one of the courts, I think it was 19, I believe, the bar started talking about courthouse security, and one of the courts was sending $2,000 a month in courthouse security funds to the treasurer. And this is before we even had any courthouse security. So I wonder how much money we're sitting on now, and are they still bringing from that one court $2,000 a month?
I don't think we're sitting on that much, but if you want to table it for later in the meeting, I'll try to get you an answer.
I'll make a motion to table it to later in the meeting.
Second. Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, next we got the departmental reports. Any questions on the departmental report? Constitutional officers, treasurer's report.
Has the issue with the 590,000 been cleared
I
up?
will take care of that in the next few days. There's been a whole lot of other stuff going on about the CARES funding and some expenditures and things of that nature the last week, and I've not had a chance to get the memo to Mr. Coach, but I'll take care of that this week.
Any more questions on treasurer's report? Okay, I'll open up the floor to public expression, and as always, come up, state your name, your address, and lay it out in 3 minutes.
I'd like to read an open letter to y'all and leave you a copy of it. It's about your new cigarette tax. You remember the board of
Excuse me, sir,
supervisors?
would you state your name?
Oh, I'm
for the
sorry,
record?
I apologize. Arnold Riggs with Riggs Oil Company in Big Stone Gap, Virginia.
What's your name again?
Arnold Riggs.
Okay.
You remember the board of supervisors, I'm writing about the new county tax of $25 cents per pack that the board of supervisors adopted July 1. This just came to my attention, and before it goes into effect next year, I thought you should know what impact this will have on our businesses. Riggs Oil Company and Black Diamond Markets have been in business for 43 years. We have 17 convenience stores and intend to open our 18th next year. 4 of our stores are in Lee County. We have over 200 total employees and serve customers not just from Lee County and Virginia, but also customers from Kentucky and Tennessee, just to buy cigarettes because of our pricing. When they are in our stores, they also buy other products, snacks, beverage, gasoline, and all these sales benefit Lee County. Adding 25 cents a pack or $2.50 per carton tax on cigarettes will cut into our price advantage, and those out-of-state customers will not be inclined to come to Lee County to do business. This year has put a great deal of strain on our business. First, the Commonwealth and the federal government increased the minimum age from 18 to 21, meaning we lost adult tobacco consumers 18 to 20 years old. In February, the FDA banned sales of its flavored cartridge electronic cigarettes, and the FDA rule that went into effect in September took other products off our shelves. In the meantime, the virus pandemic has a major impact on our sales. With less driving, our gasoline sales are much lower, and we also lost a great deal of grocery, snack, beverage, and other sales, including tobacco sales, that makes up 65% of our business. 65% of our inside sales is tobacco products. Our employees were designated by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security as essential workers for critical infrastructure and should remain working to provide basic necessities to the public, and the governor declared our business essential. This tax increase takes aim at essential business like ours and our customers. Taxing cigarettes is not a good policy either. Most cigarette purchasers are lower income people. It does not make much sense for this county to fix a general budget problem by taxing those customers of ours. They may decide to find less expensive sources of cigarettes than our stores, maybe over the internet or other counties or states. Since cigarette smokers are less than 15% of the population is shrinking, why should the county want to rely on the decreased market to pay for ongoing expenses? Raising taxes on cigarettes and our customers, especially while we're still dealing with the effects of the pandemic and other changes that have impacted our business and our customers, is not a good idea. Please remember the decision to create this new tax on cigarettes. And then, I guess I just want to be blunt, that in 40-some years we've been in business. I'll give you an example, our store in Norton. Norton done it 5 years ago. You know, our sales plummeted, went to non-existence because they just went to Wise, Big Stone, out of the town of Norton to do it. You've got to understand that where Lee County is at, you're so close to Kentucky and Tennessee border that they will go to them states or stay in them states and buy their cigarettes. I guess my own personal example is I have a store in Weber City that's next to the Tennessee border. When Tennessee done it, the store sales over there has went up tenfold. That store of ours sells 10 times the cigarettes, or equal to 10 other stores, simply because Tennessee raised their taxes. And y'all have to understand that when people come in to buy our tobacco, that they're buying snacks, gasoline, and a lot of other stuff that y'all will lose revenue on. And I beg you to consider lowering this to 50 cents. I don't think 50 cents a carton will devastate our business, but I know 250 will. And I would like for somebody at this board to talk to other cities or counties that has done this, and they will tell you your revenue actually goes down. But when you're close to other states, other counties, that people can go purchase stuff. It does not work out by raising it for an extraordinary amount. And I would like the board to try to consider just lowering it to 50 cents. I think our businesses and the public, for 50 cents, they will continue to buy in Lee County. But I'm telling you, 250, people out of Kentucky, out of Tennessee, the stores lower end, they're going to trade there. And then you not only will lose revenue from the tobacco sales, but your sales tax from snacks, groceries, daily stuff, and gasoline, you will lose it, and you will net lose money. And I appreciate your time.
Appreciate you. I'll ask a question, and if everybody can just stay seated for just a second, all you got to do is nod your head. Is that pretty much a consensus of what everybody thinks is a fair?
Yes.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm just being honest. I mean,
Yeah,
you raise it to that, you're devastating our stores and Larry's stores and all other stores. And the best example I know, the state of Virginia raised their tax on SCO and road stuff in July and made us non-competitive. Our sales are down 40% on that product. And our overall tobacco for the state of Virginia raised it is down 10% since July 1. And if you all add this much off it, you can get any revenue from tobacco or all the other revenue that our stores and businesses that sell tobacco products brings into your county.
Well, I'd just like to say something just before you leave. I appreciate your honesty on that because, most people when they come in, they usually don't have an alternative. It's usually, it's either my way or no way, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's either, and you gave us, something to think about, and I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Larry Warner, Jonesville. I own Cousins Tobacco in Pennington. And first of all, I'd like to thank Cindy for taking the time to sit down with me and discuss this issue. And I'll have to take back what I said the last time. I voted for Sid, and I'm glad I did. And I agree with what Mr. Reed said. Now here's the incentive. There's no incentive for the county to say, no, we're not going to do a tax. But if you do 50 cents a carton, here's what's going to happen. My store sells 2,000 cartons a month. Well, that's $1,000 a month just for one store. But I want to focus on the two stores down at the lower end of the county, Boone's and Montgomery's, because this will impact them a lot more than me. And in a tax situation, they're going to be your cash cows if you don't kill the cow, because they sell a lot more cigarettes than I do. And you're going to need, I don't know how many they sell, it's probably double or triple what I sell. And a lot of that tax revenue is going to be coming from people from Kentucky and Tennessee. So if we can have people from Kentucky and Tennessee helping to pay our taxes, I think that's a good thing. And that takes some of the burden off the Lee County people. If what y'all have proposed will put it all on us. And as Mr. Rick said, it'll be counterproductive again too. just since last Thursday, we started compiling a list of people that are coming into our store from out of the county. And now these are regular customers. They come in once or twice a month. From Kentucky, 23, Wise County, 12, Tennessee, 7, Scott County, 4. And these people now, especially the ones from Kentucky and Tennessee, they're buying 4 to 8 cartons of cigarettes. They're coming in and buying their entire supply for the month or so on. Sometimes they're buying for more than one family. So that, and I want y'all to think in terms of carton price rather than packs, because cartons drive the volume and therefore tax revenue, and the carton sales is what is sensitive. Carton price is what's sensitive. People will overpay for a pack or two of cigarettes until they can get out of the county someplace where they can buy a carton cheaper. And that's what we want to avoid. We want to keep the people coming in from Kentucky and Tennessee and other areas helping us pay our taxes. And we are concerned about the county's budget, and that's why we've offered an alternative. We're not going to say no, we're not going to pay anything. But if you get $1 for every 2 cartons of cigarettes that's sold, and a lot of that's coming from out of the county, who can tell me that that's not a good thing? And just a little bit of history. The states of Kentucky, Tennessee gave Virginia a great gift when they significantly raised their tobacco taxes. Virginia's excise tax was $3 a carton. Tennessee's was $6.20. Well, that gave us a big advantage over Tennessee. Well, then on July the 1st of this year, Richmond doubled their tobacco tax to $6 a carton. So we only have a 20 cents a carton advantage over Tennessee right now. So when we add 50 cents, you're actually going to get Tennessee that advantage. And that's going to hurt us some. Any tax increase will hurt us to some extent. The plan here is to maximize the amount of money coming into the county and minimize the amount of damage that it does to our businesses. And I think Mr. Smith understands that quite well about the situation with the 2 stores down there. Now, my understanding is that 80% of their cigarette business comes from Kentucky and Tennessee. So anything more than a 50 cent a carton tax increase is going to shift all of that to Tennessee. Would you agree with that, Mr. Smith?
Yeah, I would, yeah.
Okay, is that a plan that you can support? Okay, is that a motion?
Because I know, because I know what happens down there to the Lake Island there, and then you got the Montgomery down there next to Kentucky, Tennessee.
Yeah.
I mean, they're sitting right there on that line.
Yeah.
And I know what goes on there with them stores with that tobacco stuff, so.
Yeah, what we want to do.
It comes, they really get the business in there.
Yeah, we want to keep that business coming in here and let people from out of the state help pay our bills so that the entire burden does not fall on the people of Lee County. And just a couple other items unrelated to this. It would be better for people to make it to the board meetings if they were held later than 4:30. A lot of people are still working at 4:30. I've had several people that said that they wish they could come, but they don't get off from work till 5 o'clock.
Well, let me just answer that real quick.
Okay.
Up until this year, they were held at 6 o'clock. They started at 6 o'clock, and we had less people when we got here tonight.
Really?
So when I first came on board 4 years ago, we changed them to 6 o'clock just so people that work could attend board meetings.
Okay.
And we had nobody coming in.
Okay.
So that's a non-issue.
All right. Okay.
Just to be fair.
Well, you've got more experience with that than I do.
And that's the reason we changed it, because
Okay.
there was, we had members still on the board that were still working it, that were going to have to run home and change clothes real quick and try to make it to the board meeting just by 6 o'clock.
Okay, I defer to your judgment on that.
That means you're doing a good job. There ain't nobody coming here and argue with you. Late.
You care to, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
You mentioned to me, I think you asked me if we were going to do stamps on the bottom of the cigarette or
Yes.
something else. I don't remember what the something else was, but do you have an opinion about which is better to do?
I do. I would like to, I'd like to resolve the issue of the amount first. Now, here's another issue with the stamps, Sidney. If we have to go with stamps, the wholesalers will not put those stamps on for free because they're going to have to run the cigarettes through the stamp machine twice. And they'll charge us 2 or 3 cents a stamp to put them on there, which is extra money that has to be passed along to the consumer. And even, consider this too, a 50 cent a carton tax increase is 53 cents to the consumer because they got to pay sales tax on top of that. And believe you me, they know when they ask us what the price of a carton of cigarettes is, they won't know how much it is with sales tax because that's what's coming out of their pocket. I think there's a way that we wouldn't have to do the stamps because I understand that you'll have to buy the stamps and supply them to the wholesalers. You'll have to pay for a setup fee to design the stamps and so on, and then you'll eventually get your money back as they collect it from us. Each of us gets an invoice from the wholesaler that shows the number of cartons of cigarettes that we bought. The simplest thing to do would be just to provide you with a copy of that invoice and pay the tax based on that. We could do that the following month, just like we do sales tax. And that would avoid the expense of the stamp from the county's expense and from our expense too.
What we do in other than I hate to interrupt or whatever, I know I'm going up further. What we do with other locations, like Norton has this amount of tax and Weber City has this, but the wholesaler charges that price for that location delivery, and then they reimburse the county or the town the tax money. The wholesalers can do that.
Yeah. The wholesaler, you'd want to avoid a tax stamp if you can because there's an upfront expense with that. And some states don't even have tax stamps. In South Carolina, they don't put stamps on the cigarettes. The wholesaler passes the cost along to the retailer and the state gets their money. But a good automated stamp machine is $140,000. So that saves the wholesalers a fair amount of money. But the issue that's an issue that we can resolve. We got plenty of time to resolve that and figure out what would be the best way to do. The main thing is that we want to get the county some tax revenue without doing a lot of damage to our business and running business out of the county. And got to agree with what Mr. Riggs said. When people come in to my store from Kentucky, that almost 17 here from Harlan, they don't just buy the cigarettes and leave. They go to McDonald's, they go to Hardee's, they go to Subway, they buy gas, sometimes they go to Walmart. So if you stop that traffic from coming in, all that revenue's gone. You ready to make that motion?
Okay, I got any more questions for Mr. Warner?
Thank you.
Carla, that night, we have petitions, this is voters that signed this, and I'd like to give them to the districts that they're in, if that be all right to you all. Me and Dina both have them. DD, ain't you got Stone Creek District? Pennington?
Well, I guess I'll just order them. Is there any in your district in Pennington?
There's none in his?
Yeah, there's some in Larry's
Black Diamond.
District 3.
Which one?
Black Diamond.
Which?
Next to Sears is Larry.
Okay.
Going in that.
Jonesville. Okay. And you are Ewan.
I'm Dina Osborne. I'm from Pennington, and I work at Cousins Tobacco. We also decided to do these petitions to let people sign and show if they're interested in these tax increases. We've had people from Harlan, Middlesboro, people from Scott County, Kingsport, Wise, Big Stone, Appalachia, Gate City, Duffield, and Cranks, Kentucky, all that came in and said that if our taxes go up, that they may not be able to come over to buy their cigarettes anymore because it would cost them more to come over here than it would to just go ahead and pay the extra price in the taxes in Tennessee and Kentucky that increased last year. And we have, from Cousins, we had 615 people to sign our petitions. Tigers Market and Woodway had 125, and this may be off by just 2 or 3. I just rounded it off. Dryden Grocery had 125. Lee's Food Mart in Jonesville just had 20. Papa Bears in Jonesville had 70. Happy Mart in Jonesville had 180. Lee's Food Mart had 90, and the one in Pennington Gap. And the ones for out of county and out of state, which was just at Cousins, we had 70 people who said that they probably would not be able to come back to the county to get their cigarettes and tobacco if this tax increased. So altogether, we had 1,220 plus or minus people sign these petitions. And this has just been since Thursday. We got it out probably about 2 o'clock Thursday, then on Friday I was off, and I took it around to all the other stores. And so this has just been since, most of them just since Friday morning. So I just want to let you know how many people are disagreeing with it. This is all the papers that have been signed throughout the county. If you guys want to take a look, I don't have copies, but pass them around, y'all can take a look at them.
I just can't.
I don't see you have any reason to lie about it.
There'd be a lot of signatures, but
Thank you.
Thank you all.
And on a side note, I would like to add, Carl and I have talked about this in private, just to try to keep it, and we have talked about trying to keep a running log just to see how much effect that the increase in, what was it, in July, that the state tax went on,
Yes.
what kind of effect that's going to. So she's actually trying to keep a log, just for my sake to try to keep, so I thought that was pretty good out of Carla to do that to help us along.
Well, at my school,
So it's not something that we've ignored,
we lost a fair number of Tennessee customers when the tax was increased on July 4th, or July 1st, because there was just not enough of a cost price advantage for them to make the drive over here. And we also lost some customers. I think Big Stone Gap has a $1 tax, and we picked up quite a few customers from Big Stone when that happened. And we lost a couple of. We will lose some of them with even a 50 cents a carton tax.
Now, I would also like to add on a side note also, what was it, 1,200, what'd you say, 1,200 and how many signatures? Let's throw this out there.
1,220 signatures.
I'd like to see that 1,222 of those people that signed up the signatures try to get out there and help us rake up some revenue in this county, try to figure out how to make up revenue in this county that we don't bring in. Help us figure out how to get it in.
Well, just a lot of the people live right on the border, and they said they would either go back to Kentucky or to Tennessee to buy their tobacco there. Hers increased that much.
I'm
And a lot
just
of it
saying,
was
I
out
know a
of
whole lot,
state.
just looking on one page, I see a whole lot of them, and just a little bit of effort, like I say, coming to our meetings, we have budget meetings, starting in, when's our budget meetings start in March, February?
Usually April.
And we have them sometimes 2 or 3 times a week, and we have nobody here. That shows you how much concern we have with our budget.
I can't help to add to that, and I know probably outlined saying this, but look, it is just not right to make 15% of the population help you with your deficit. You need to come up with something that everybody pays their fair share. Don't pick on 10 to 15% of your population.
And that kind of falls in line with anything you do. You look right down the line, anything that you do, it's going to fall on that 15%. Carl and I had that
What about a tax for the people that don't work? Just a joke, just a joke.
Anyway, anybody else?
Teresa Caldwell from St. Charles. I work at Cousin's Tobacco Store. And all of the people that came in signed those petitions. They completely understand that they have a $6 tax just from the state, 5.3% Virginia sales tax, and then if $2.50 is added on. I mean, that's over $10 a carton just in taxes. And they all say that they are just tired of it, they're tired of taxes, it's just too much. And then you talk about, you like to see them come and help you get revenue, but the revenue in this county, there needs to be something done, there needs to be jobs in the county, there needs to be something brought in for the people too, that even the people that want to work can't work. And that's where you're going to get your tax money. If people had a job, they could spend more, they could do more, but I just didn't really like that, help us dig up the revenue. Because, there's not even an industrial development director in Lee County. Nobody is trying to do anything.
The statement is coming in, my statement is basically saying come in with ideas, not just bringing in money. I'm saying coming in with ideas. You gotta have a courtroom full of ideas, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, all they know is every time they turn around, it's another tax. And so I was just here, since I spoke at the last meeting, I've been able to talk to hundreds of people coming in and out of the store. And they're all against it. Because, it's just picking on a certain group. You pick out smokers, okay, we'll let the smokers give us money. But you might want to think about some things like cutting your budget a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that could happen. Because, it just blew my mind. You came up last time and said county said $1.7 million in debt. And they want to know why and where does the money go?
And like I say, if people would attend these budget meetings, they can see where that money is going,
And where are the budget meetings advertised? I look in the paper and I'll see something like a little square under the obituary file that says Board of Supervisors meeting in the courtroom. So how do people know what's going on and when?
Well, it specifically states what kind of meeting it is.
The last few months I've looked at it, there's just like a tiny square that says Board of Supervisors meeting.
Do you not specify in each ad?
We don't run ads.
Or well,
Our monthly meetings are established at the beginning of each year. And then from the regular meetings, if you recess, those are recess meetings, but we don't run advertisements for every meeting. There's no requirement on that. Our meetings typically are posted on the website.
But don't the citizens deserve to know when they are in case they do want to come?
The regular meeting of the board is every third Tuesday of the month at 4:30. And from that point, if the board recesses to another time prior to the next monthly regular meeting, that's made public at that time.
Because, that's all
And
I can
that's
ever
usually-
find. It's just a little tiny square that says Board of Supervisors meeting.
And usually, I know with the local newspaper, they usually conclude the article on the report of the regular monthly meeting with any indication if there is a recess meeting scheduled. That's usually always the last thing in there.
And the passing of the budget is specifically advertised. Public comment on the proposed budget is advertised.
We have a public hearing on the
Right.
proposed budget. Yes, we're
And
required to
nobody
do that.
showed up, literally nobody showed up to the July 1 meeting.
That's that.
Okay, I'm just passing on a few things that some of the people said. Because they want to know where the money went and why we're in such debt. And instead of always asking for more money, do y'all think you could trim your budget a little bit?
Can I make one?
I'll tell you what, let me respond to that, Mr. Chairman, if I might. You come next year and you show us where we can cut the money out of the budget.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said, you come next year and you show us where you can cut that money out of the budget. Because we meet,
I'll come to meet with you if you'll let me know when it's gonna be and,
well, we start in April, working on the budget. We do it for 3 months.
okay. All right.
And I'll tell you right now, there's nobody sitting in this room can cut anything out of that budget. It's deficits. It's mandates from the state.
I know a lot of it is. Can I add one other point, one thing I forgot to mention? Whenever there's a price increase on cigarettes, you have more people switching to e-cigarettes and vaping. And we sell these e-cigarettes, but not very many. There's hundreds of different kinds. And most of the people that are doing that are buying them online. And the county's not going to get any tax revenue from that. So the more you go up on taxes, the more people you push into the vaping and the e-cigarettes. And I would like to elicit some comments on their proposal of 50 cents a carton. What do you guys think?
Okay, we're not going to be into the discussion of that right now.
Okay.
We got a whole lot of other stuff here we got to go over right now. The discussion's been good tonight. It was good to hear positive discussion. Anybody else on public expression?
They won't hear what I have to say.
Okay, hearing no more, we'll move on to the approval of minutes.
Excuse me?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I've talked to a lot of people about the taxes on the cigarettes.
State your name, please.
Terry Andis.
Last name?
Andis, A-N-D-I-S. I've heard a lot of people talk about this, the taxes that you guys are wanting to put on us. And I don't know how many people I've heard say, the people that work here in a courthouse, they always give themselves these raises every few months. And, they probably walk around with, $4,000 or $7,000 in their pockets. And we, can't even afford gas to go to work. And, but they want to put all the taxes on people that smoke and the little people. And you guys sit around and give yourselves these, pats on the back and your, big expensive vacations and your houses and all your cars and everything like that. And guess who pays for everything you guys get? We do. And giving yourselves raises and, living like you're royalty to us little people, we just don't think it's fair. That's it.
Can I say something to that? If I ain't mistaken, can't you go on a website and see exactly what you all get paid, what everybody in this courthouse gets paid?
Yes, you should be. Well, I don't know if the salaries are on there.
Local government, they don't. Now, the state government does have a site.
Well, you it wasn't
Anyone,
outrageous like a lot of people think.
state government has a site that you can research. Well, I said they did. I don't know if they run it. The Richmond Times Dispatch had that link on there at one time. It covers all salaries above $50,000, nothing below $50,000. The Bristol newspaper did a similar thing maybe 8 or 10 years ago, but they only posted it for a year or two. They didn't keep it updated. But our salaries, if you submit Freedom of Information request, we release those that to you. I mean, any of that's public information.
Well, I'll tell you,
And I can assure, I'm sorry, go ahead.
mine's $400.76 a month. I certainly don't do it for the money. It's not worth the money at all to me. As far as a vacation, I don't typically take a vacation. And on the increases of the courthouse employees or the county employees, we voted not to give them an increase this year, even though most departments asked for an increase. We didn't give any of them an increase.
Well, I know what Mr. Leonard and his wife worked for years doing and retired, so, yeah.
And Carla knows that, you know, and where I'm chairman, I do make, $100 more, I think, than what so mine's $550 or whatever. So that's a month. And I live up here where Carla does, so she can tell you, I
With the
spend more in
house
gas
burnt
doing county business than what I draw a month, so. Us board of supervisors don't make any money, I can assure you that. We basically do it for
The love of the county.
Because you care.
So if anybody believes otherwise, then they should run and do it. But, and our county employees, you know, we got excellent county employees, and I applaud them for working for what they do. And I promise you, our county employees are probably the lowest county paid employees, and probably in the state, probably, and that's a fact. And I applaud them for working for what they do. You know, and it's sad that they have to work for what they do. But that's our budget. That's all we can do.
I'm expecting, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I've been sitting here for 13 years. The Board of Supervisors has never received a raise since I've been here. I've never requested a raise. And I guarantee you what we make a month, we'll spend more than that on wear and tear and gas on our vehicles than what we received. So it's not, we're none of us here for the money.
Thank you.
Just to have somebody to talk to.
But, you know, it is good to have, and I'll throw this out there, it's good to have, you know, sometimes it's good to have conversation, and I don't like to ordinarily have conversation out with the crowd out. I like for you to come up front and talk, because it's not good policy, because everybody wants to start talking, and you get your whole meeting just totally out of alignment when everybody starts talking. But, you know, sometimes when you can have a little bit of civil conversation, you know, it makes sense to do so. But I appreciate everybody tonight coming forth with, you know, what you had to say. And, you know, like I say, we understand, and we still got plenty of time to discuss it. So, I mean, it's not urgent that we make a decision. And like I say, Carla and I, we hopefully we get to talk plenty about it, and we'll get it resolved.
I know where you live. But thank you all very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you all. Okay, approval of minutes, September 10th, 2020 recess meeting. Y'all want to do them all as a bundle?
Yeah.
September 10, 2020 recess meeting, September 15, 2020 regular meeting, September 21st, 2020 recess meeting, and September 29th, 2020 recess meeting.
Motion to approve.
Okay, got a motion on the floor to approve.
Second.
And a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we got a refund request for Michael Eric Twig.
I'll make a motion that,
Okay, we got a motion to approve this refund request, and I'll second that. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? And next is county administrator reports, payroll warrants have been issued, and approval of disbursements.
After reviewing these, I make a motion that we approve the disbursement.
Okay, got a motion to approve the disbursements,
Second.
and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed?
Okay, we got some supplemental appropriations.
I make a motion we approve the supplemental appropriations.
Okay, got a motion to approve supplemental appropriations,
I second the motion.
and a second, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, next on the list, got new business, Board of Zoning Appeals, and I'd like to table that till next month if we can make a motion to table that till next month.
Second.
And a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next we got the Mountain Empire Community College Advisory Board.
Mr. Chairman, she's from down in my district. I'd like to table that next month.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Any opposed?
Mr. Chairman, I would call your attention to, I think you were given a letter, you may want to refer to that. So, but, I mean, that's just for next month, that's just some additional information.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Next, Tourism Committee, I'd like to make a motion to table that to next month. I haven't got a chance to talk to him yet either.
Second.
And a second, all in favor? Any opposed? And then we got Regional Tourism Board appointment correction.
That appointment was made last month, Mr. Chairman. Part of Appalachia notified us that legislation, when legislation on that, the appointments to that board were changed a couple of years ago, they changed the dates of the terms. All terms are supposed to be now begin on January 1 and run through December 31 of the second year. So to correct this, the easiest correction on this would just be to extend Ms. Maggard's current appointment to end on December 31st of 2022 instead of September 30th, 2022. But we would need a motion to do that.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, next we got the E911 audio recorder upgrade.
You have a request from Mr. Bailey to consider approval of upgrading the audio recorder the county currently has. It is still functioning. It's considered to be an old system. The operating system is no longer supported by the vendor if there's a repair issue or something of that nature. The current vendor is RevCord. They have submitted a quote for the upgrade. They had some additional features, but Mr. Bailey's indicated he's not interested in any of those. To go with the new system from RevCord, you have a pricing sheet, the next sheet in your packet there behind the memo. It would be at a cost of $5,909.52 per year. That's for a 5-year cost. Mr. Bailey had added a note at the bottom stating that funds from the department's equipment repair line item could be used with assisting with the upgrade. There's $5,000 budgeted there. None of that has been spent to date, but should there have to be repairs made later on in the year, if you use all of that for that expense, then we would have to appropriate additional funding to that line item or try to find it somewhere else in his budget. But you're looking at a cost of, just like I said, just a little over $5,900 for 5 years. That's each year for 5 years.
So if the one that we're using now malfunctions, what happens as far as recordings? Is this just when somebody calls 911, it being recorded?
Yes.
So what happens now when it malfunctions?
Well, he says it's fully functional, but the vendor's no longer supporting the product. So if it doesn't mean that it would not be repaired or could not be repaired, it would just means if parts were available, and it could still be repaired. A lot of times, once it goes out of maintenance agreement or out of support, they don't no longer manufacture parts for it. So if there's surplus parts on the market, or if there's a used machine that someone has that they can scavenge off of, you can get it repaired. But a lot of times you're just out until that's done.
Has it ever broken before?
They have had issues with it in the past before.
And so when that happens, it's just that calls aren't being recorded?
Yes.
How long has it been since it has malfunctioned?
I don't have that information. If you want additional information and you want me to gather that, then tell me what information you want, I'll gather it before next month.
Recommendations from the county administrator.
I don't work with that equipment, so I can't really say one way or another.
What do you gotta say?
If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. It's not that the 911 that they can't take the calls, that the call might not record once it malfunctions, but it sounds like, any system can malfunction. If it malfunctions, the only difference is if we get a new one, they can come and fix it. This one, we might just have to buy another one. So I say wait till it malfunctions and then buy another one, if it does. But then again, I still use box style TVs instead of a flat screen because they don't malfunction, but.
You just can't see the whole picture.
Sometimes, certain channels, I find myself doing this, but I don't know. We got to save money somewhere, don't we?
What's the rest of you guys think?
I agree. Yeah.
Larry? Yeah. You agree? Good. Sounds like we're all in agreement.
What's the time frame if it does break and you can't get parts? What's the time frame on it?
I have no idea how long it takes the vendor to get a new system in.
Check on that for us, if you would, please.
Okay?
Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea.
And I'll try to get you a little bit of operational history on the current one, when the most recent breakdown was and how frequently.
Bring it back up next meeting.
Okay, next on the list, we got EMS request for phone cars for portable operations.
One of the things we bought with the recent matching grant for emergency management was the network in a box, which gives them the capability of establishing a portable dispatch center at another location should something happen that caused ours to be out of service completely, that maybe the building is uninhabitable or whatever. After receiving that system, we were, I was informed, I don't know if anyone else knew it required it or not, but they need an activated wireless account in order to be able to use that system, even to test it or anything of that nature. And of course, the manufacturer recommends having redundancy, having the ability to use at least two networks in order to set that up in the event that one network would be down, the other network would be available. The cost of an account for Verizon and AT&T would be $40 a month for each. So that's roughly $500 for each one a year, so about an extra $1,000 a year for that system to be usable. And the network in a box, the product has been received. Manufacturer, they have not scheduled anything on site to do any demonstration or testing because they have to have the activated account in order to fire it up.
So I guess we don't have any choice but to approve this.
We intend to ever use it.